lessness. Sushila sadhavo yatra narayana parayana. And this is the most recommended path by those who are well behaved on the path of devotional service. And therefore, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to give us the essence of this entire practice, encapsulated in the process of chanting of the holy names. Because through this chanting, we are requesting the Lord, please engage me in your devotional service. And this Cheto Darpana Marjanam, what Patanjali calls as Chitta Vritti Nirodha, the fluctuations of the mind for hankering, lamenting, enjoying the objects of this world is gradually eradicated by the grace and the mercy of the devotees. And therefore, the solution to this addiction is given by our acharyas, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, the Goswamis, and then Srila Prabhupada has elaborated it. And what is the solution? There are 5 solutions to this problem of addiction. First, discipline. And what is the meaning of discipline? Discipline in chanting the holy names on a regular basis. Okay. So therefore, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on the South India tour, it is described, Matta Simha Pray Prabhu Korilagaman Prema Vesha Yai Kori Nama Sankirtan. Mahaprabhu flooded the entire place with the loud chanting of the holy names. And in Ajamil's case, the entire pastime concludes with this verse. Because Ajamil called out his son's name, Mriyamano Hare Nam Grinana Putro Pacharitam Ajamilo Pyagadhama Kim Punashraddhaya Grinan. Ajamil had 4 defects, but still he was delivered. What were his 4 defects? The first, Ajamil did not cry out to the Lord, he called his son. He called his son Narayan, Narayan, but still he was saved. So if you directly call out Narayan, how much you will be saved? Mriyamano, Ajamil did not chant all through his life. Only at the time of death he cried out helplessly. If every day we cry out helplessly, how much benefit we'll get? Ajamilopi Agadhama, till the time of death, Ajamil was not following the principles of no meditating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. Ajamil was completely sinful till the time of death. In fact, one college student was telling me, my hero, my Mahajan is Ajamil. I said, why? He said, Maja bhi kiya, Bhagavad Dham bhi gaya. That was his idea. But it's a very risky proposal. It's not recommended for anybody. The purpose of Ajamil pastime is not to inspire that. The purpose of Ajamil pastime is to show that even in such a case, the holy name is so powerful. So if we take a vow that today onwards, I will give up all sinful life. I have come to this youth festival to get inspired, to give up all kinds of addictive behaviors. And I hereby will try my level best to practice the process of devotional service. How many of you feel inspired to do that? Raise your hands. अरे हरि बोल आवाज ही नहीं आ रहा है. So to say Hari Bol here is very easy. But when you go home, Maya will bowl. Then you will say, चलो आज माया से दोस्ती कर लेते, कल देखते. So therefore, the holy name is very powerful and important. And that's how ISKCON has spread all over the world by this Harinam Sankirtan. There was this young boy in America who joined a temple. And then he saw the devotees go on Harinam. So he also joined. So when they went on Harinam Sankirtan, they were doing Hare Krishna for some time. Then the leader of the Kirtan changed the tune. And then he started singing another variation. Gaur Nityananda Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So this new guy, he didn't understand what they were saying. He was trying to hear, but if you're not familiar with Sanskrit, sometimes you can't understand what is going on. So what he heard was, where did Nityananda go? So the way you sing is, Gaur Nityananda Bol is sung by the leader, and then all the other devotees say, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So he was trying to understand what are they responding. He couldn't get Hari Bol. So he thought what they are saying, where did Nityananda go? I don't know, I don't know. So he was wondering, what is this every day they are going? Who's this Nityananda and where is he hiding? And why nobody seems to know? So after a few days, and when you are new, you are afraid to ask also. Because others may say, Arey, you are so ignorant. Ye kya pooch rahe? Itna bhi nahi pata hai. So generally people just keep quiet. Try to show that they know when they don't know. So then one day he was sitting and taking prasad, and next to him another devotee was sitting. So he thought this is a good chance to ask. So he asked him, where did Nityanand go? So that devotee got bewildered. He said, I don't know. So somehow decided, okay, I will continue. And then when he became more serious in Krishna consciousness, he realized that, okay, this is what they were saying. But he said that I was intrigued by this kirtan and what they were doing. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has introduced the first solution as discipline of Nam Kirtan or Harinam to take on a regular basis, right? Devotees, the other prisoners, the guards, all were started kirtan. And 3 to 4 hour kirtan was going on. Devotees were in bliss. That what such a preaching program we didn't have outside also. So one day, one of the jail warden, he walked in. So when the jail warden walked in, one of the jail guards looked at the warden and said, Hari Bol. He got shocked. He started inquiring and he found out this kirtan going on. He released these devotees. And the devotees said, why are you releasing us? We have not paid the bail. He said, you guys are more dangerous inside than outside the jail. So you begin with the discipline of Harinam. And people all over the world who had not heard Krishna's name are now chanting Krishna's name for last 40, 50 years. So you're all born in India. So how much more seriously we should be taking this process of chanting. The second is discrimination. The discrimination comes from Shastra. And therefore, it is described, Anartha upashamam sakshat bhakti yogam adhokshaje. Naishati dussaha kshunmam tyaktodam api badhate pibantam tvan mukham bhojam chutam harikatha amritam. Bhagavatam describes you have to overcome your material addiction with spiritual addiction. Because what is raga? Sukhanushai. That happiness, memory of previous experience of happiness. So if you get happiness through kirtan, if you get happiness through, chanting, if you get happiness through hearing Bhagavatam, studying Bhagavatam, by honoring prasadam, through devotional activities, then that memory will trigger off further such experiences. And therefore, it is described by Maharaj Parikshit that I want to hear this katha. Because although I am fasting, but still this Hari Katha is like nectar, it is nourishing me. I can go on hearing because I am addicted. Hari Rasa Madhira Madati Matta. Bhagavatam describes. Hari Rasa is like a Madira. It is like intoxicant. Lokans lokanukatam pasumsha shrutam se charanat patram parasparam tvad gunavada sidhu piyusha. So Bhagavatam is compared to two things. Harikatha, Krishna Katha is described to two things: nectar and intoxicant. When does person take intoxicant? To forget pain. So when you are in pain in the material world, when you hear Harikatha, that Krishna Katha helps you cope with that pain. And then it is nectar also. It gives enlivenment, inspiration, like that. So discrimination comes from Shastra. Third, dispassion. Dispassion or detachment. It comes by worshipping the deities. When you're looking at the deities, you try to offer the best possible objects to the deities. You become detached from those objects because you are no longer looking at the objects with a sense of covetousness, of possession. You are looking at detachment. How can I offer these to the Lord for their pleasure? Right, so Prabhupada mentions, although the Harinam Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma, still why deity worship is recommended? Two things. Because deity worship helps you subdue the restlessness of the mind. And secondly, it helps you overcome the thought that I am the sense enjoyer. Because you see the Lord is the enjoyer. Because early morning at 4:30 the Lord eats 6 to 8 types of sweets. Any of you do that? 4:30 in the morning you wake up and Rasgulla, Peda, Sandesh, Barfi. Bole yaar, sone do yaar. But the Lord eats 6 types of sweets at 4:30 in the morning. What to speak of rest of the day? 6 to 8 times a day. Is it not? So therefore, that detachment it creates. Fourth, determination. And how is determination increased? By Vaishnava Seva. When one serves the Vaishnavas, one increases one's determination by their blessings, by their pleasure, by their grace. So therefore, if you want determination to say no to the sense gratification, to the sense pleasures, to addiction, you want to say no or not? Yes. You want to say yes or no? So if you want to say no, then that strength comes by the grace of the devotees. And therefore, Jnana Valambaka Kechit Karma Valambaka Vayam tu Haridasanam Padatrana Avalambakaha. And therefore, it is described only by the grace of the devotees one can overcome this desire for sense gratification, by the blessings of the Vaishnavas. So Vaishnava Seva gives determination. And fourth, we need dedication. And one can increase one's dedication by visiting the holy dhams, by going for dham yatra. And when you go to the dham, you hear, you smell, you experience the vibrations of those great souls who had served the Lord with great dedication in that same place thousands of years ago. And the grace of all of those devotees flows into us. And it also imbues us with that sense of dedication. And therefore, when Akrura sees Krishna's footprints in Vrindavan, he falls off from his chariot and he rolls on those footprints and he glorifies Deha Bhratam Iyan Artho Hitva Dambham Bhyam Shucham Sandeshadyo Harer Linga Darshana Shravanadibhi. And so he says, this is the purpose of carrying this body, that I am at last in contact with Krishna's lotus footprints. Giving up pride, giving up lethargy, giving up all kinds of shame, I simply want to inundate my entire existence with the dust of Krishna's lotus feet. Every dust particle of Vrindavan, it spreads the fragrance of bhakti or devotion to Krishna. And in this way, that rasa, that that very particular mellow of the service and the reciprocation with Krishna floods over our hearts and minds and overwhelms any other desires of sense gratification. So what Patanjali describes as chitta, vritti, nirodha is actually brought to us in a very, very powerfully overwhelming manner by the great saints in the Srimad Bhagavatam and by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who gave us the final essence of Bhagavatam in the form of Harinama Sankirtan. And that process of Harinama Sankirtan is what Srila Prabhupada took and spread all over the world. And he actually gave the essence of the process of bhakti to the entire world. And thanks to his divine grace, we are sitting here and hearing about the method by which we can come out of the cycle of the habits, of the kleshas, of the vritti, of the sanskaras, of the karmas, by replacing with fresh impressions, the fresh samskaras of Harinam, Harikatha, Vaishnav Seva, Archa Vigraha Aradhana, and visiting the holy dhams and getting blessed by the holy dhams. And so I'll end with Prabhupada's one pastime with one of his disciples, Dhruvanath Prabhu. And he wanted to meet Prabhupada. He had not become a devotee, he was a traveler. And he wanted to write a book on how hallucination through drug experiences can help in self-realization. He wanted to write a book on my experiences with drug addiction, which can help in self-realization. And in that he wanted to add a chapter on Prabhupada and ISKCON. And so he approached Prabhupada for that. So when he came right in front of Prabhupada and he offered obeisances and he got up, when he saw Prabhupada's face, his mind became blank. Because he had come to ask about, what do you think about this? That when you take drugs, and can the drugs help in self-realization? So Prabhupada kept looking at him, and Prabhupada saw that he is not speaking anything, so Prabhupada spoke up. And Prabhupada said, how unfortunate are the youth of today that they want to attain self-realization through use of hallucinating drugs. Prabhupada looked at him and spoke. He was stunned. And how did he read my mind? And then, Prabhupada said, any questions? So, his question was already answered. So he just said, what are the symptoms of a pure devotee? He got a new question. And then Prabhupada, at the end of the conversation, he spoke to him with great compassion. And I would like to conclude my talk today with these 4 recommendations of Prabhupada on overcoming addiction. And Prabhupada said, first, and this is a very important message for the youth from Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, the founder of ISKCON. The first thing Prabhupada said, man is an architect of his own fortune. Yes or no? Second, Prabhupada said, now you make your own fortune now. Yes or no? Third, Prabhupada said, whatever is done is done. Yes or no? No other way. Whatever is done is done. And then fourth thing Prabhupada said, now start a new chapter in your life. And when you start this new chapter in your life by making Krishna conscious a priority, at the end of this life, you will go back home, back to Godhead. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.